Denny Hamlin just said what a lot of NASCAR drivers have been thinking for years, but almost nobody with real power has been willing to say out loud. Because right now, NASCAR has a massive credibility problem. And according to Hamlin, the sport's biggest issue isn't wrecks, tempers, or retaliation. It's consistency, or more accurately, the complete lack of it. One driver gets hammered with points, penalties, and fines. Another driver appears to do almost the exact same thing and walks away untouched. And now the entire garage is asking one question: what exactly is NASCAR's rule anymore? Ryan Preece just got hit with the same type of punishment Hamlin received back in 2023 after NASCAR determined he intentionally wrecked another driver at Texas. The penalty was serious. Points, money, and playoff implications all attached to it. But here's where the controversy exploded. Kyle Busch was involved in a separate incident with John Hunter Nemechek that many fans, analysts, and even former drivers believed looked intentional too. Yet NASCAR decided not to penalize Busch at all. That's the part Hamlin clearly isn't buying. On his podcast, Hamlin basically challenged NASCAR's entire decision-making process. His argument was simple: use common sense first, not loopholes, not technicalities, not selective evidence, just common sense. And honestly, that's where the story gets dangerous for NASCAR, because once fans start believing the rules change depending on who's involved, trust disappears fast. NASCAR's explanation centered around radio communication. Ryan Preece reportedly made comments over the radio before the incident happened, and NASCAR used that as evidence of intent. Meanwhile, in Kyle Busch's case, there was apparently no clear audio of Busch saying he planned to wreck somebody. So NASCAR treated the situations differently. But that explanation immediately opened another problem, because now the message sounds like this: if you're going to intentionally wreck someone, just don't say it out loud. That's why Hamlin's criticism hit so hard. He's not only questioning one penalty, he's exposing what looks like a flawed system, and Hamlin knows exactly how this works because he lived through it himself. Back in 2023, NASCAR originally viewed his incident with Ross Chastain as standard racing contact, but after Hamlin publicly admitted the move was intentional on his podcast, NASCAR reversed course and penalized him heavily. So from Hamlin's perspective, the precedent already exists. Confession equals punishment. Silence equals plausible deniability. That's not a sustainable rulebook, and Hamlin went even deeper when discussing Kyle Busch's defense. Busch claimed he used track reference points, hash marks on the straightaway, and simply misjudged positioning before the contact happened. Hamlin wasn't buying that either. He argued Busch's driving line made no aerodynamic sense and said Busch's approach into the corner looked far too aggressive to be dismissed as accidental racing contact. Translation: Hamlin thinks the move absolutely looked intentional. And that's where NASCAR suddenly finds itself cornered, because this isn't some random fan conspiracy online anymore. Now respected veterans, broadcasters, insiders, and Hall of Fame level voices are openly questioning the integrity of the enforcement process. Dale Earnhardt Jr. flat out admitted he disagreed with the Ryan Preece penalty. Not partially, completely. And when Dale Jr. publicly says a NASCAR ruling surprised him, people listen, especially because his argument was brutally straightforward. If Kyle Busch wasn't penalized, how can Ryan Preece be? That inconsistency is what's fueling the backlash right now. And honestly, NASCAR created this storm themselves. Because once you rely too heavily on driver audio instead of the actual on-track action, you open the door to manipulation. Drivers learn quickly. The garage adapts quickly. Now every driver understands the game. Never admit intent. Never say it on the radio, and NASCAR suddenly loses its strongest evidence. That's a nightmare scenario for officials. Strategically, this could completely change driver behavior moving forward. Retaliation has always existed in NASCAR. That's part of the sport's DNA. Drivers police each other constantly. But if punishments become tied more to words than actions, then drivers simply become smarter politically, cleaner on the radio, more careful publicly, but not necessarily cleaner on the racetrack. That's why Hamlin's common sense argument matters so much. He's basically saying NASCAR is overcomplicating something that drivers, fans, and analysts can often recognize immediately with their own eyes. And there's another layer here nobody should ignore. Playoff pressure. Points matter more now than ever. Ryan Preece and RFK Racing aren't appealing this penalty just for pride. They believe those lost points could seriously impact their season trajectory. RFK officially announced they're fighting the ruling, and Preece himself admitted he was surprised by NASCAR's decision. The problem? Historically, NASCAR appeals almost never succeed. More than half get upheld, and overturning major penalties is extremely difficult unless there's overwhelming evidence. Still, the appeal itself puts even more pressure on NASCAR because now the entire sport will be watching whether officials double down or quietly soften their stance, and if the penalty stands while similar incidents continue going unpunished. This debate is only getting louder. Now let's talk best case and worst case scenarios. Best case for NASCAR, the appeals panel clarifies the standard, NASCAR tightens enforcement consistency, and the garage finally understands exactly where the line is. That restores some credibility. Worst case, drivers stop trusting the system completely. Fans start believing star power affects punishment, and every future retaliation incident becomes another public trial against NASCAR officiating. That's the danger here. Not one wreck, not one penalty. The perception that the rulebook changes week to week, and in professional sports, perception can become reality incredibly fast. So now the question shifts to you. Did NASCAR get the Ryan Preece penalty right? Or is Denny Hamlin exposing a bigger problem that's been hiding in plain sight for years? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is far from over. And if NASCAR's own drivers are openly questioning the system now, this story may just be getting started.